South Bend City Council meeting held on May 13th, 2024.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. Do we have any items from the public tonight? I don't see anybody online that wants to say anything. Okay. All right, so let's move on to item 4. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda, the consent agenda, and the minutes from April 22nd, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. While I'm thinking about it too, I want to say that Councilor Williams has been excused for the meeting tonight. Do we have any correspondence?
None.
Okay, so let's move on to item 6. It's a letter to Pacific County Department of Community Development for the Race Burrell Walkway Market Space. This is something that we had in the past, and it's still on the books in a sense, but nobody's taken advantage of it for a while. But the county has asked for a letter of approval for people that want to set up over there to be a food vendor on the Race Burrell Walkway. Remember when we had the Sunday market over there and they were setting up for the weekends and stuff? That's still available for folks if they would like to do that. So I'll just read the body of it. It says, to whom it may concern, the city of South Bend allows the public and citizens of South Bend to use Race Burrell Walkway as a market vendor space. Anyone wanting to use the space as a market or pop-up space will need to get approval through the city. If the use of water or power is needed, there will be a fee the vendor will need to pay associated with those costs. Respectfully, the mayor. So what we're asking for is just a renewed commitment from the council that you're still okay with that happening over there. And then this letter will be sent to the county. So I would entertain a motion to approve the use of the Race Burrell Walkway as a market vendor space.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I just have a
Yes.
question.
Mhm.
If I remember correctly, and maybe not, there was some to do over the vendors having to pay somebody to set up over there.
Yeah,
Could, if
yeah.
I wanted to sell something, could I just get a little, whatever they call it, and set up and
Yes.
sell? Do I have, is there a committee that you have to go through?
No, just come
Just
talk
come
to
to
me
the city.
or the city. Yeah,
Oh,
if I'm not able to talk to Zoe or
Well,
somebody.
I'm not saying it, but just in case it comes up from somebody. because
Well,
that's
what
a
happened
big deal.
before was the gentleman that kind of was overseeing it. He
Yeah.
agreed to kind of help people. He decided to offer coffee and maybe donuts or something, but then began to charge everyone a certain fee to offer
Yeah.
those services. Well, that, we put a stop to that because the city didn't sanction that. If he
Okay.
chooses to put coffee and donuts out, that's his choice, but he can't make people pay as vendors
Yeah, I
to
couldn't
do that.
remember exactly what. it
Yeah,
was,
so
but
that's
there
kind
was
of what
something.
happened there.
Okay.
And so, yeah. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And if people want to voluntarily contribute, they can, but it became an issue where it was forced and that's not appropriate. So,
Okay.
yeah, so that's kind of what happened on that. So, yeah, there was a to do about it. Okay, so moving on to item 7.
The vote?
We'll vote.
Oh, we didn't vote?
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Got ahead of myself. Okay, that's what happens when I get talking. The Pacific County Conservation District contract approval, habitat restoration and flood reduction for the Willapa River. And Dennis, why don't you go ahead and give a little synopsis of what this is all about?
So we were approached by the Pacific Conservation District probably, I don't know, beginning of the year, sometime around there.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
asked if we were interested in a project that would look at all the flooding, erosion, habitat loss and stuff like that we have here in South Bend, along with Raymond, same thing with Raymond. And they would find funding, or they had funding available, I think.
Grant funding, yeah.
$275,000, something like that. Where they could get either a full-time employee or a part-time employee along with city staff from both cities. And we can jointly go in this effort to come up with a game plan on certain 3 to 5 different projects around in both cities. And work towards the goal of getting these projects complete from, design phase all the way through to grant writing. So we thought, why not? So basically that's the contract for that thing. The city would receive somewhere around $20,000
Yeah.
for our time served in that. So that's basically where we're at. I guess City of Raymond's already signed it. We're just bringing it to you guys now.
And then as far as the employees go, it would be an already city employee that would
Correct,
be
yeah.
part of that.
We had the option of hiring someone with this funding, but we didn't want to hire someone just to let them go when this project was over, and it wouldn't have been full-time probably anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why we opted to have them do the body of the work, and then it would probably mainly be Dennis and maybe Kelly a little bit, but would
Okay.
work on this with
That was
their
what I hoped for.
representative, yeah.
It's
yeah.
to me, it's a substantial amount of hours, but
Mhm.
they didn't seem to think it was that big a deal, but
So
this,
as far as projects, so that money, the $200,000, that's just for the personnel and grant writing.
that's
And
just
then-
for that portion of it. not for
Okay,
the
so
actual
then the
project.
projects, you're just hoping, are there like pretty solid funding out there
There
for
is,
projects like
yeah,
this?
if you have good grant writers, you have a pretty good shot at getting them, but for the most part, it's
Another-
just for the beginning.
Okay, another question I noticed, they have circled on their map, only the Skidmore Slough drainage as far as, that's not all they're gonna look at? as far as solid bid,
Because
right?
we were talking about central.
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw the highlights, and I'm like, well, that's kind of not,
Yeah,
Benefiting.
it's all of the whole jurisdiction of the city's
Okay.
up then, so.
alright,
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the contract with Pacific County Conservation District. I almost read the wrong one.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Or any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we're gonna move on to item 8, the fireworks discussion, and I'll let you lead it off since you wanted to bring it to us.
Well, yes, because this year is going to be a very dry year according to all predictions, and I believe the governor has already decided that it's been deemed a drought year. And with that in mind, I would really like to see a complete total ban on fireworks within the city limits. I know we don't have any control outside the city limits, but because of the fire danger, I would, that's what I would like to see in my perfect world.
We do have that option in place already where the mayor and the fire chief
Yeah, I realize.
can determine whether it's too dry for fireworks off. And we actually exercised that, 3 years ago, something like that. And we did do that. And I would not hesitate to do that again if necessary, but we're still, 6 weeks out, something like that before the 4th.
Yes.
Yeah.
can I ask, Kim, in the past couple of years, since I'm not connected anymore, how, have we had many fireworks incidents that resulted in fires that you know of? Or Luke, you would know that too,
A few, but nothing like a small grass fire or nothing.
No structures.
I think last year we just had the one small
Yeah,
grass.
it was just a small grass fire and it was right along a ditch, which was actually pretty safe because there's gravel on both sides of it, there's-
But all in all, no, we have,
And that
Last
was
few
in the
years-
middle of the day, wasn't it?
in the last few years, it's been,
Yeah, and
Pretty
there
quiet.
was another fire call on the 4th of July during
But that was
fireworks, but it was not fireworks related.
yeah, it was like,
But
Heater.
people didn't know, they hear the fire whistle and fireworks are going off and they
Yeah.
assumed it was firework related,
but
but it wasn't, it was
No.
an electrical issue in the home. So,
Okay, well,
But yeah, all in all,
For
it's
the record.
been pretty
I
good,
want them there.
so.
Okay. Does anyone else have any thoughts?
Well, you'll make a call if you think it's too dry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to do that. We would talk about it in the office and determine
Yeah.
that it's just not safe.
Yeah,
Yeah. That one year it was horrid, you know,
Mhm.
but if we get rain, you know, you never know what we're gonna get.
You never
You know,
know.
the week prior or whatever, if it's
Yeah.
raining, then we're probably okay. I think it's a little bit early to exercise that right now.
I like that we put it in place a few years ago where we had the control to be able to shut it down.
Yeah.
Before, it was always on the chief's shoulders. Then we kind of changed things around and said, let's give the mayor the authority and the chief to be able to talk with each other
right.
and make this call, which I think is ideal situation because I know the 13 years I've been on the department, we've never had an issue.
No, it's been pretty good, you know, I mean, just
Yeah.
small stuff.
They go to some little acorns.
They do. All right, we ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to department head reports. Police Chief Siegel.
About a year ago, we had an individual that threatened to kill all of our police department. And he had some other various crimes. He was sentenced to 48 months in prison. He was released. He was eligible for some kind of early release work program. And he has been released to a treatment rehabilitation center for the next 60 days. And then after that, he'll be released on home monitoring for the remainder of his sentence. The police department we are taking precautions and we're reapplying for our protection orders because we had them in place that lasted for 1 year and they expired on May 1st. We didn't think that he would be out of prison in a year on a 4-year sentence, but we are working to reapply for those protection orders and they also include City Hall because we feel like City Hall staff could have been in danger in that situation as well. So we're working on getting that put back in place. My hope is that this person gets rehabilitated and turns their life around. And maybe even when they get released from the rehab center, they go somewhere else other than back here. But that is a possibility. So we are taking those precautions. The next thing is over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, it's just really been evident that we have good solid crew here. My officers are awesome. They've really stepped up and covered. We've had some officers that have had some family emergency type situations come up at the same time that some of us were gone at training and left the other 1 or 2 people that were actually still here in town alone. And it's hard to cover 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with 1 or 2 people. So kudos to my staff, the officers, they're outstanding and they really step up in the times that are needed. So I just wanted to give them kudos for that. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, Supervisor Houck.
I don't have too much. We have some good weather here, so we've been working on some drainage projects. Broadway and Jackson is a big one that we're gonna tackle here shortly. And then we have Robert Bush Park. We're gonna try to fix that big sinkhole out in front of Boondocks there, here shortly as well. We have a water line we're gonna be putting down Gordon Road to water main. And, we're trying to get some service lines across other people's property to get to certain properties. Back in the day, it was all owned by one person, so they have service lines going down through there. And then, of course, that's sold since then, and now we have service lines that go right next to other people's houses. So that's a liability we shouldn't have. So we're redirecting our water main down a right away. You get all that stuff off on private property. And then the typical spring and summer projects that are sort of nothing pop now. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay. Fire Chief McGee.
Yeah, no,
Okay. Clerk Treasurer Soa.
I just wanted to remind everybody that starting today, through Saturday, the 18th, is spring cleanup for the city of South Bend. So you can take, your garbage bill out to Royal Heights with one load. There is, I think, we have it on our website, on our Facebook, like what, if it's some, I think certain things you might have to pay a fee for, but you are entitled to that one load this week, starting today through Saturday, the 18th.
Okay. Thank you. So, I just want to remind everyone that our next meeting falls on Memorial Day. So we're gonna move it to Wednesday, the 29th. Because we don't generally meet on a holiday. So every once in a while, they land on a Monday, and we are gonna be in that situation this time. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up was, I was informed via email that last week was Municipal Clerks Week. And so I just wanted to give kudos to Zoe. I've really seen her come along in this last year. It's been a rough start. The first couple of years, it was really hard in the beginning, but she's really got a hold of it now and is able to do some long range planning and projections and whatnot, and just has come a long, long way. And I really appreciate everything that you do for us. Great job. Yeah, quarterly report just looked great. Doing a good job.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Do we have any public comments regarding the current agenda items that were mentioned tonight? Nope. All right, council comments. Councilor Davis.
I was gonna ask you, are you guys gonna try to do a fireworks show Labor Day?
we are. We're not gonna try, we are.
Yeah,
That's a lot of,
the try is gonna come in for the laser show. We have to get a grant in order to do that.
oh,
So if the grant doesn't come through, then there won't be one. We'd like to do both, but it's gonna take grant funding in order to pay for both, so, yeah. But the fireworks show is on, firemen are doing that, so, yeah. Anything else? Nope. All right, Counselor Corcoran.
Kudos to Lucas and his group, and to Zoe. Thank you guys very much for everything that you do for us. I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Counselor Manlow.
Same thing, we have a rock star crew at South Bend.
We really do. Yeah.
Really do.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Counselor Kuiken.
I'm good.
Okay. Do we have any future agenda topics? All right, we will stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
This has been the South Bend City Council meeting held on May 13th, 2024. Next South Bend City Council meeting will be held on May 29th, 2024.